Call the meeting to order. I'd like to remind everyone of the City of Perry's staff core values. It's a strong work ethic, problem solving, community oriented, shows professionalism and integrity. It's a team player, is accountable, and is a good steward. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Changes, additions. Okay, roll call. Nope. Okay. Morning.
Apologies. Jeremy, would you please be able to recite the City of Perry's staff core values since you were late?
okay, so roll call for approval of the agenda items. I have Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, next up is the consent agenda. It's the minutes of the June 15th regular city council meeting. There's 10 payments for contract services, 9 to Bolton and Mink, and 1 to Eocene for a total of $164,367.24. Claims register and financials of $1,178,643.09. And we have one renewal of a retail tobacco permit at the R Smoke Plus 528 First Avenue in Perry. Have motion, please.
I make motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Okay, Sven, city administrators report.
All right, two topics this morning. One is the downtown project. We're excited to see concrete getting poured last week, so that's some exciting progress this week. I think starting a little bit earlier than usual in the morning to get concrete down before it gets really, really hot. They'll be starting to work on the curb and gutter in that section and then preparing that for the brickwork and things like that. So that's moving forward. Just so that everybody knows, when we get to a certain point yet to be determined, we will work with the contractor and Bolton and Mink to make the call of if we're thinking that we have time to get the intersection fully put together, or if the contractor will put in temporary pavement for RAGBRAI on the 21st. So there will come a go, no-go date, and then the intersection will be open for RAGBRAI and probably the street dance, and then that'll get taken out and whatever work needs to be completed will be done and then put back together. So just so that everybody knows that there is a plan either way for RAGBRAI. Then just an update on the airport project, the parallel taxiway. The mobile batch plant for concrete is getting assembled, and I think they've got things pretty well prepped, so they'll be moving forward on that paving and finishing that up to move on to that next phase of the 4,000 feet. And then next year we'll get the 1,500 foot put in. The runway project will be done. Hopefully done. So, yeah, that's what I've got. Any questions for me?
Material, they got a temporary.
Nope, it would either be asphalt or concrete in that intersection, so.
Gravel or concrete?
Likely there will be concrete or asphalt put in temporarily.
Good.
Yep.
That's possible.
Yep, we'll just get to a date and then Jacob will decide.
Okay, any other questions for Sven? Okay, move on to mayor council comments. I just wanted to, I attended a 140th birthday party for Percival and it went really nice. They had a good turnout for their employees and wanted to thank them for choosing Perry for their place of business and wish them good luck over the next 140 years. So does anyone from the council have anything they'd like to bring up?
Just a reminder that for the 4th of July parade, the lineup is at the high school this year. So anybody who is planning on being in the parade, go to the high school.
Okay, I would have ended up at,
Thank you. Yeah, it's, office that.
Yep.
Real proud.
This looks great.
It does look great.
then we'll move on. Next up is open forum. Speakers are asked to step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and you'll be given 3 minutes to address the council. Any open forum requests? Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to item 6 is a special presentation on the pool renovation updates from ISG and JEO. So. And again, if you'd step to the microphone and state your name and.
Everybody hear me okay? Good morning. My name is Zach Thompson from ISG. I'm the project manager. ISG is a full service architecture and engineering firm in Des Moines is where I'm housed. We also have offices in Storm Lake and Waterloo in Iowa. Gladys Peterson couldn't make it today, but she'll be our lead architect, and Andrew Pennekamp.
Yeah, so I'm Andrew Pennekamp. I work at JEO and I'll be project manager and engineer for the aquatic side of the project. So the spa and the renovations to the main pool and filter placement.
But go down there for me. Thank you. So I guess a step back, how we got here today, we working on facility assessment. Go ahead and scroll down. Thank you. So in 2019 and 2020, facility master plan was done as well as a phase 1 renovation, which included some architecture upgrades, but a major mechanical upgrade at the McCurry Center. That was done by Ethos Design Group, which was, it later became a part of ISG. Continuing that relationship in 2024, ISG was hired to do a facility assessment, while JEO was brought on to do a similar pool assessment to see what work could be done and what work needed to be done to extend the life of that pool and building. And then in 2026, we got back together to develop a new scope of work, broaden that scope of work a little bit, which we hope to present here in just a minute for you. So that's just a plan there. The green, pink, and purple were previously touched areas by Ethos Design Group and other trade partners in the area. And obviously the yellow area would be the pool and spa renovation we're here to talk about today. Some of the highlights of the facility assessment, highlight might not be the right word, but what we found were some CMU walls crack on the exterior wall, ceiling damage and corroded supports behind it, and the tile is dated, inconsistent, and damaged. Mechanical and plumbing had outdated, HVAC system. The bulkhead is no longer a serviceable way for that pool. Mechanical room is seeing pretty extreme corrosion from the pool environment. And as far as the electrical side, all of our conduits and pathways were becoming corroded and the lighting just outdated. So the new scope we developed just this early spring here. I'll touch on the architectural items, which we started with just a ceiling renovation. We were going to take out the old ceiling, put in some acoustic considerations up top to help with the noise. We're going to put new lighting in, whole new HVAC system, and we're going to work on that exterior wall and window repair. In our recent scope, we also decided to replace the pool deck tile as Andrew's team works on replacing some piping, and we're going to work on the deck drain as well. We can stay there for a second. You want to add anything to the pool?
Yeah, sure. So the pool, the main pool, there's some piping that needs to be replaced, main drains, gutters, returned back to the pool. So all that'll get updated. And then inside the mechanical room, there's an existing filter that's actually in the ground, and we'll be moving that up above and replacing that with a high pressure sand filter. And then, of course, all the pumps and equipment that changes with that. That's takes care of the main pool, and then the spot south will be replaced. So we need to do a little concept on that and make sure we're getting the design how we want to see it. But we'll start with that as a concept, and by the end of this, we'll have a whole new spa with mechanical equipment on that as well.
The pool deck are you putting on? Your tile or?
I think it's up to decision at this point, but tile is. We kind of went through this, but a little more detailed scope there. So we replace everything as planned, new ceiling, take out the existing return air bulkhead. I think it's been touched on.
I think same thing.
It's Foster, pretty much a full renovation spa area as well. So there's our preliminary project budget. This was mainly from the facility assessment, but brought forward to today's dollars. So you're looking at just under $3.2 million for the total project. I think originally we were, the budget was around 2 million for a much reduced scope. So we think we have a pretty good. And a preliminary timeline, we're shooting to have our 30% documents done sometime in August, with 60% in October, 100% construction documents by the end of the year. There's an opportunity to potentially hit a better bidding window by waiting until early 2027, but that's something we can wait out depending on the construction environment at the time. And the construction window, rather than trying to shut down bits and pieces at a time, we're hoping for one shutdown in 2027, probably the majority of 2027. And although the construction environment right now is a little bit out of whack as far as lead time, so we think it is doable right now to get this project done.
So the entire pool will be closed down most of.
Correct. Yep. So in summary, we put a lot of time and effort in this pool over the years. We hope to get the approval here to move forward with this new scope and really deliver a nice final project for everyone.
This will last another 40 years.
Well, it's supposed to do, right?
60.
60.
60. That was the warranty,
Brand new
right?
tile, CMU, yeah, it'll stand for a while. I don't know if there are any questions, but I do appreciate the time today.
Interior wall, you showed a picture of the wall was cracked.
Yep.
So that's foundation, the walls that come out. Fixed.
No structural damage found, just cosmetic correction around that exterior wall.
So the windows and all of that will be like CMU. Go back to block.
It'll take a little deeper dive in the windows to see if they need replaced, or maybe a way to just kind of seal them up, correct? Actually, tear it down. So if we can save some costs, we'll have
Barring budget restrictions, are we hitting all of the things that need to be done at this point?
yeah, absolutely. The first scope was absolutely need to be done. We think we can include some other things that not only made sense, but within the budget idea that we had.
I think one thing to mention is that in John and I's conversations, we've discussed the possibility of speaking with some towns around Perry that have outdoor pools for some sort of a possible partnership, either just for that summer of 27 or possibly further having a longer term sharing agreement with our indoor year-round facility and an outdoor facility. So we'll be trying to come up with some, possible partnerships to try and alleviate just not having a pool at all.
Good.
So what does that touch? We're talking about summer swim team, girls' high school swim team,
That's a John
winter.
or Ben question.
Yeah, it's all those things. Right now for this year, we couldn't guarantee, because right now we're still in the mode of the ceiling could fail between now and construction in 27. So that's still a very real possibility. Right now it's stable, but a windstorm could adjust the ceiling there and we're kind of dead in the water. So A little bit, pun intended, pun intended. We have had a lot of discussions about how do we proceed with summer swim team, winter swim team. In years past, we've had other schools rent our facility, use our pool. I don't see a reason why we can't do that same type of thing. Very kind of reserved conversations about it, but I don't see a reason why we couldn't do registration for summer and winter swim team and then just reserve or rent pool time in a different space at a different community. That's all real. That's all very good possibility. We're still obviously working some of those fine details out, creating relationships with other communities and navigating those waters. So
Have we talked to them about any contingency plan should the integrity of that ceiling change before our planned dates of closure?
that would be the rush to try to create those relationships as soon as possible.
I have all the confidence in the world in you.
You betcha, yeah, yeah. So we're very hopeful that works out. High school girls has already kind of made the decision. If we can't guarantee a safe space, they've taken their kids to partner with Boone, which is where boys swim. We're very hopeful that we get them back post renovation here. We need to keep our swim programs are the biggest programs that Park and Rec is putting on right now. We're servicing 130 kids in both winter and summer swim teams. It's a really big deal for us. We're going to do everything we can to keep that momentum going. Undefeated season. So like it is a really big deal. There's, anytime we have youth athletics that's successful, it needs to be highlighted, and our swim teams are doing that for us. So
Is that the nearest where we can do?
Boone's indoor,
Years.
it's probably the nearest one. Yeah. I think Anne Marie and I talked the other day about possibly partnering with Adel for an outdoor center for summer swim team next. And Jefferson, yeah. So there's options out there. The Metro has a handful of indoor pools that we might be able to have access to. It's going to be a bit of an obstacle for us to overcome for sure, without a doubt, but the pool's been open for 45 years. It hasn't ever been closed. So a little bit of a window here for us to fix it and open it back up for another 45 years is no here. So
Moving the filtration system above ground will make it easier to service.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it will. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the pool filtration system is a gravity fed filtration system. It was obsolete the day after they installed it in 43 or 83. So getting a high pressure filtration system will increase our quality of water. Not saying Ben does a bad job by any means. He's got that old system dialed in right now, but a high pressure system will 100% increase our ability to provide a better atmosphere. Dehumidification, like anybody who sat inside that pool for a length of time watching a swim meet knows the environment is not fun and nice. Dehumidification will change that whole entire atmosphere, make it a lot more enjoyable for people to spend time in the pool.
You're definitely gonna have some pain that's gonna last longer than most of us would like, but I think it's gonna be worth it for the long-term gain.
Absolutely.
The pool's gonna be better than it ever was, but it's
Absolutely.
finished, so
Something.
just gonna have to suffer through it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, the 2020 renovation to the rec center did wonders for us. Usage has gone up, building cleanliness, our ability to just make the facility work better, provide a better experience has been hugely successful. There is no doubt in my mind that these two guys right here are going to be able to take the pool and do exactly what it needs to happen to create a better environment. It'd be great.
We want to talk about funding.
Yes. I would like to know how we're gonna fund this.
Well, this will of course have to be a bond issue. Last year or this year, we had some items come off our debt service levy. We've paid off some debt. It'll have to be like a combination probably of a debt levy on the taxes that'll take the place of the current debt levy and some local option sales tax, or you could look at TIF, which,
And fundraising.
and fundraising.
Once, if or when council takes action, that will trigger Susie and I to get more serious with PFM and Dorsey and Whitney on starting the bond process, funding for this project.
What do you use?
Yeah, we'll have to do a bond, definitely. We don't have anything in reserve for the pool. We could, I think we could do the whole bond in the amount of the 3.1 whatever million. And we could probably would probably be comfortable putting 2 million on the debt levy, and that would like keep that about the same rate as it is now. And then would have to look at whatever the overage is per year, doing that with local option or TIF. Would have to do a TIF bond. There you can
And
do a combination bond.
I need to do some more research, but I believe the property tax bill did loosen some of the restrictions or lack of clarity on using TIF for public facilities. So we'll be looking at that more closely as well. And fundraising, right, John?
You bet.
So, yeah, fundraising so that we can maybe have some kind of position where we don't have to do this again in 40 years, where we can continue our maintenance of our gym of a building that we have over there. That would be nice.
Because it is really important, because we really don't want to take any more out of local option sales tax than we already do, because that would leave even less for capitals for the different departments.
Okay, anything else? Thank you all. Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Okay, now we'll move on to old business. Item A is a resolution approving,
We haven't had.
public hearing, sorry. Jumping ahead of myself. So we will start the public hearing. Proposed presentation, special presentation will do the public hearing on the proposed contract documents, estimated cost for the Sumas Avenue Improvement Project. So we will open that at 9:24. Sven, Jacob,
So we received 8 really good bids. One was not responsive. So that one was not read aloud, but ultimately the lowest bidder that came in was McNich Corporation out of Des Moines. Just under the engineer's estimate, very competitive bids all across. And we've worked with them on multiple projects and great contractor to work with. They're also, just so everybody knows, out at JBS, likely very local, ready to get the project started quickly.
It was really impressive to me looking at these bids that there was only a $700,000 spread between the 7 responsive bidders. So that means it was a very tight race, very competitive race for this project. But I think it will be helpful to have McNich on the project because they are installing all of JBS's lines, so they know exactly where they are. So no questions about that.
Yeah. And I could even see some of these contractors that are listed below McNich being partners, whether that's for paving or any other operation, that knowing how quick this needs to go, they all work together. So
Good.
That will later to be determined, but all around good.
Possibly, I won't speculate. Never mind. I'll withdraw my comment.
What's the timeline for this construction? What's
So what was in the contract documents was to have sanitary and water to JBS, so all sanitary and water done by October 1. That's the quick nature of it. We only got 2 months. So that's where everybody had to really tighten the pencil a little bit, make sure that they could complete it. For that turn on of JBS, which is around that October 15th timeframe, they have to have water. And then we have to have the intersection of JBS completed and any other paving that can take place by December. And then final completion is, I believe it's July of 2027, for wrapping up all restorations, lighting, and any roadway that wasn't put in. So
When is JBS planning?
I believe their trials and getting everything calibrated and everything is starting in that October timeframe. As far as,
They have access. Being open?
yes, so
So from what I understand, the critical nature of having water and sewer connected is so that they have water to start conditioning their cooling systems, because they have to have so many weeks of conditioning and testing to then permanently turn them on or refill them, turn them on. And that has to be done above a certain temperature. So they have to start doing that prior to colder temperatures later in the fall and winter. But I believe they're still in that first quarter of 2027 to like really start production.
Late by then?
yeah, so that's where we're focusing on getting all the sanitary and water up to JBS with their intersection. That way that's done before 2027. If they need to access from the south, that driveway entrance point would be open. And then they can wrap up everything to the north at that point. But the goal would be to get as much done as we can, considering weather and what everything's thrown at us.
So there would be a detour off of 169 on 150th and then up Sumas to their entrance from the south.
When is ADR Axel? Cafe Rural.
There won't be impact to Guthrie's access because their substation is going on the south side of the JBS site, it's like south of the transmission lines. And then ADR will be working with as water and sewer are going through there. They have an easement across the detention pond right on the northwest corner of their property from Research Drive. And then they also could have access from we call it the goat path, but the gravel trail on the south side of their property. They also bought that extra probably 100 feet. And they have an easement across the stretch from Research Drive to their property. So they would have two options for temporary drive and temporary access.
Sounds like we got it under control.
Hopefully it stays that way.
It will absolutely stay that way.
I think the biggest thing is getting them out there, getting things rolling, on council recommendation here, and then fine tuning that schedule based on what they can get done and how they want to piece it all together. So
I've told Jacob that my expectation is that construction begins July 1st.
Okay.
I'm gonna say probably the 7th.
Mobilize.
They're probably already mobilized.
They're pretty much mobilized there, so.
Thank you. With that, we'll close the public hearing at 9:30. And we'll move on to old business. And item A now is a resolution approving the award of the Sumas Avenue Improvement Projects. The bids were opened at 2 p.m. on June 23rd. 8 received, 7 were reviewed. And as mentioned, Mackinac Corporation was the low bid, and it is recommended that we award the contract to them. Have motion, please.
Move that we approve the resolution to award for the Sumas Avenue Improvement Project bids.
I second that.
Okay, need any further discussion?
And this will be funded through a RISE grant and then the bond issue we had earlier this year, and that will be paid from TIF fund. That bond issue.
Anything else? Okay, roll call, please.
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay, item B is resolution approving a professional services agreement amendment for the pool filter replacement. This is for JEO Consulting Group. Cost not to exceed 105,000 with additional estimated hourly fees not to exceed 30,000 without prior approval for a total cost of $135,000. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to pass a resolution approving a professional services agreement amendment for the filter.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion on that?
to begin with, was 135,000.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, and next item C is resolution approving a professional services agreement amendment for the pool ceiling renovation. This is with INS Group and additional cost of $30,400, bringing the not to exceed cost to $177,400. So, a motion, please.
I make a motion, we approve a professional agreement, services agreement amendment for the pool ceiling renovation.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Okay, roll call.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, item D is approval of pay application number 7 for the downtown improvement project phase 1. It's in the amount of $423,583.50 to TK Concrete Inc. for continued work along Warford between 1st and 2nd and towards 3rd. So can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion we approve pay application number 7 for the downtown improvement phase project.
Discussion.
So Sven hit on a couple of the key points here, but as you can see, they do have concrete going down. They're getting the south side of Warford there, prep for getting in curb and then likely starting on getting pavers as things progress. Keeping a key nature on that intersection for Ragbri as far as when that drop dead date is for where we're seeing progress, how much progress we're seeing and making sure that that's open for Ragbri.
Looking good.
How do we feel about it, Jacob? What's our feeling?
The feeling is they need to get moving a little quicker. Just in general, I think a lot of curveballs with the early rains, but ultimately at the end of the day, we need to get more productive work, less cleanup work and focusing on what the actual tasks are. So we've had some discussions with them throughout the past couple months, kind of getting that driven home a little bit to make sure that we're getting the right pieces and parts put in at the right times.
So Jacob, they're gonna change the bid. Essentially,
Is that going to change what?
is that gonna change the overall bid? If they essentially have to put in a temporary surface.
I think that's.
And then tear it out after that. They're gonna change the overall cost.
That's what we got to talk through with them is ultimately they chose to go through with that. That was some leniency the city had as far as staging just to help them get through that intersection. So we need to have further discussions on that as far as how that all gets taken care of and responsibilities of it. So
No way.
I don't have an answer at this time with just getting out from last week. Someone else did because I know there's progress meetings without us. Ultimately, they brought up the idea that if they need to temporary pave it, they would temporary pave it. To keep their schedule moving forward, they took on that risk and kind of liability is the nature I had before taking off. And I think it should stand that way as far as we did relax on some of that staging, knowing Ragbri was there, but having some of that good faith progression and completion of work is where it's getting hung up.
And I would say the focus of conversations has been centered around getting the intersection completed versus the
Temporary banding.
OS plan of temporary pavement. So I think another week and a half to 2 weeks will be more that time frame of what are we gonna do? I think the last conversation yesterday, is this Tuesday?
Yep.
Yesterday, sounded like they were leaning towards asphalt, which would be, you know,
Easy to remember.
very easy prep. Lay the asphalt down in half a day, and by the end of the day, it's usable just like our overlay projects around town. And it also doesn't have to be anything incredibly like a thick pavement section or anything like that, because it is really kind of just for bicyclists and very temporary, so.
Who pays?
I would
We
say
gotta see.
it has not been specifically discussed, but I think we were, you can jump in anytime, Jacob.
So
My impression of the conversation so far has been that that would be a cost that the contractor would take on because they chose to tear out the intersection and move forward. That was more so the conversation back at the announcement of, if you think you can get it done, we'll let you move, but it's on you if you have to do something temporary.
Yeah, based on their operations, they wanted to be a stage ahead for pavement removals to keep their utilities moving forward. That's the nature of their means and methods. Ultimately, at the end of the day, staging plans in the contract are more, these are the pieces we need done and when. If they do something different than that, that's fine, but they kind of take on that responsibility, and that's kind of how we'll drive that conversation.
So since we talked last month, it appears to me, just appears to me that they've hit another gear. Do you feel that they've up their,
Yes and no. I think
Okay.
they can drive it a little faster. There's definitely a lot of work that can be done out there. There's a lot of pieces that could have been completed well before me returning today. So seeing that there's areas not completed is where the discussions are gonna start continuing of, if we're have all this formed up, why isn't it getting paved? Because we had concrete here, it's inefficiencies to them and it's inefficiencies to the city.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
yes,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to new business. Item A is approval of a reappointment to the Library Board of Trustees. Mrs. Maggie Ruggles would like to be reappointed to a 4-year term, which would end on 6/30 of 2030. So can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve item A.
Second that.
Any discussion needed? Maggie's a great person, so. Okay. Roll call.
Wally,
Yes.
Smaller,
yes,
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, item B is a resolution approving a 28E agreement with Dallas County Sheriff's Office. This is for the installation and use of some license plate reader cameras that they have acquired and will allow us to place around town. So can I have a motion, please?
make a motion, we approve a 28E agreement with Dallas County Sheriff's Office.
I'll second that. And they're actually installing them and maintaining them unless we abuse them.
So these are owned and operated by Dallas County Sheriff's Office. What this, as I understand it, and Chief is here. He's the guy in the uniform. This 28E agreement is just an agreement that would allow them to place them within city right of way. Because they cannot be on state DOT right of way. So they, obviously the county doesn't have right of way in Perry, so this would be for just putting up a post with the cameras in the city limits, within the city's right of way. Do you have any further comment, Chief Archer?
Are we
Okay.
doing multiple intersections in town or specific points?
Well, we don't want to tell you that.
Oh, I know.
The sheriff was gonna come up last week, but I don't know, they got busy or something, so they are planning on coming up here in the near future to decide. We haven't decided any locations yet. So, they're all solar powered, so there's no power coming from the city's power sources. And our police department will have access to that data, so we can use that information.
Is it real time so that if you do have somebody coming through that there's a warrant on you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Appropriately.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, that's the purpose. Yeah. Or a missing person or something like that. Yeah. Yep.
You know. In the, they can't put those cameras.
Because the state legislature said no. Yeah, they apparently do not want them on their state highways.
Then the information. In. Who gets this?
It's just within the Motorola, whatever, however they store their data. So, yeah, that stays within the company. The company doesn't do anything with it. Yeah. So,
City. Town.
no. They were able to act, so the sheriff's department renegotiated their contract with Motorola. And in that renegotiation, they were able to get 90 LPR cameras thrown in the deal. So they're gonna just distribute them throughout the county. So we're the first city to get on board and like get this resolution done. So
Good.
yeah, when they said they wanted to do this, I was like, well, let's get her done. So yeah, no cost to the city, and we get the benefit of using the information from those. Benefit our law enforcement activities here.
They must have a little bit more negotiating power with Motorola than we do.
I think so.
It must.
So just to kind of relate this to a real world situation, was it last year, 2 years ago that there was an incident in Perry and a license plate reader similar to this caught them in Colorado?
Yeah, so we got notified, I don't remember what agency it was, somewhere here in Iowa, they operate a different system called Flock. And we had a attempted murder warrant that we had issued for an individual that we knew was probably fleeing toward California and then to Mexico. And as soon as that warrant got entered, somebody notified us that our suspect was in Colorado. So we notified them quickly enough, and then they were able to get that individual stopped on the interstate, place her under arrest, and yeah. So that's how that system could actually benefit. Even though we don't have that system, somebody here in Iowa did, and they got the notification that our suspect was in Colorado. So we quickly were able to get that person in custody. I mean, within the hour of getting that notification. So,
And I
yeah.
think, in my opinion, that's a great point. Not only is it beneficial for us and our officers, but it's beneficial for any law enforcement agency that, puts out a warrant or they still call it an APB.
Bolo.
The BOLO.
Beyond the.
I gotta get up with this 2026 lingo. That, if one of those vehicles passes through Perry, that would alert Dallas County or us, and we couldn't be the ones that notify another agency. So
Yeah,
really good,
absolutely.
whether it's in Iowa or Colorado. It's all connected and a helpful tool in our toolbox.
Chief. May not be. But if the state
Joe.
legislature says no, state legislature says no, why should we say yes? Because if a bad guy's coming, he's coming down to 140. No cameras. All of a sudden he's here. Got him on camera. Legislature says, don't do it. Why should we say yes?
Well, I think the benefits outweigh I think they're looking at more privacy issues and the rights of the citizens of the state of Iowa. But that, I think their concern is that information is being collected, is being used for other purposes and being sold. And that's goes against everything that we would believe in as well. So, that information is only used for those very specific incidences, where you'd have a missing person, wanted person. I believe maybe if you're on the sex registry. So there's very few things that you could actually use the information for where it's going to give us a notification. And that information is not being sold, it's not being used for any other purpose. But I think the state legislature, I mean, they did the same thing with the speed cameras and with the red light cameras. They restricted all that usage from state highways as well. And if you want to, like, if we were to try to put up a red light camera or speed camera here in Iowa or here in Perry, like on 144 here or 141, we would have to get permission from the DOT. And they're probably going to say no. So, yeah. So I think that's the main thing, is that information isn't being used for any other purpose, just strictly for law enforcement use. And that doesn't go anywhere else. So, yep.
So it wouldn't even be accessible, say, if
No.
somebody slipped you $20 to theoretically
No, that's
to put a alert for their spouse's vehicle or something like
Right.
that. You can't even input
No.
that unless it's a criminal violation.
yeah.
I think
We-
the answer to the question is that small government like us get to use more common sense. Is that the answer for that? That's why I like it here.
Yeah, it's heavily restricted on what we can and can't do. Like, I couldn't even run my own name and date of birth through the system. That would be a violation of the NCIC rules, and we could actually I could lose my certification to be able to do that. And without being able to run people, it makes my job really hard. So there's a really high bar that we keep with running plates and licenses, that kind of thing. So.
Even without this.
Yeah, even without
just
the-
regularly, you can't just randomly check your info without probable cause.
We often have people come in wanting us to run them to see if their license is still expired or like suspended or something like that. And we have to tell them that we can't do that. So you have to go check with the DOT with that. So. Any other questions? All right. You bet.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Dudley,
No.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay. Item C is a resolution approving a job description and wage for recreation services coordinator position in the city of Perry, Iowa. This is to replace Gene Dowd, who will be hard to replace. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we pass a resolution approving a job description and a wage for recreation services coordinator position in the city of Perry.
Second that.
Okay, discussion?
Want to talk to us, John?
Bless her heart, she worked for the city of Perry for 30 years. A lot's changed in that job over the years. Even Jean wasn't doing exactly what was spelled out in her job description back in 2003 or whatever it was. So updating it and just making it in the 2026 is important.
So it's a bigger scope.
It's more defined. I'll say that. It was a very large, over encompassing job description. It is now a little bit more manageable and streamlined. It makes more sense.
So this
Basic
would put-
updating.
This would put that position on par with Ben,
Yes.
Marco.
Yep. That,
And still underneath Becky.
that's right. Yep. Yep, so evens out the playing field, if you will, and just creates uniformity and hierarchy, which is a good thing.
The go-to point person at the desk.
That's right. Yep.
No further discussion? Roll call?
Walling,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay, item D, resolution authorizing fiscal year 2026 operational transfers of funds. Could I have a motion to do that, please?
Move that we approve the authorization of transferring funds.
I'll second that.
Susie, you want to walk us through?
Yes, I added one late yesterday afternoon, so Chris is pulling up the um updated resolution. Okay, so this is for the operational purposes. We're transferring from the TIF fund 100,000 to the general fund for annual operating expenses for community and economic development and zoning. The local option sales tax. This is an amount of $1,872,154.75. So this is part of the reason why, we receive over 3 million in local option, but we transfer out the almost 1.9 million for operational transfers, and then also in the next resolution, we transfer out for debt service as well. So that's why we only have so much to spend for capitals at the end of the year. So off the top of our local option sales tax received, we transfer 20% to the local option maintenance fund for building and grounds maintenance, and that's their wages as well. That's 653,897. I'm not going to talk about cents. I'm just going to read the number. Okay, we transfer $215,750 to the HMA resurfacing fund. That's the fund that we transfer, and I'll get to it with road use tax. We do the HMA project every 4 years in different parts of town, to asphalt the streets. We do it every 4 years to make a big project that's, worthwhile and cost effective. But then we come to some of the building maintenance transfers for the various buildings that the city owns. $28,465 to the Carnegie Library for their annual maintenance and upkeep. And that is just for the building costs and insurance. That is not for the wages. Those are paid by Hometown Heritage up until the end of this current year. The Towncraft Fund, that's $14,631, and that is lower because we do receive rent for that. We receive $36,000 for rent. We transfer $50,000 to the general fund for community and economic development programs. We transfer $40,000 to the general fund for marketing program. We transfer $236,325 to Hotel Patee for their annual operating expenditures, and $16,637 to La Poste for that fund's annual operating and maintenance expenditures. And last year we had $7,121 in American Legion costs for operating and maintenance expenditures. And then we need to close out a couple projects, and that comes from local option sales tax fund, the STP Capitol Street project, which was the Willis Avenue project. We finally received the final grant amount from DOT. So this was a project where the engineering was not covered by the grant. So we had $297,613 for the engineering that we need to close out that project. And then the first downtown project the 2020, the Bateman project, that is over 600,000 that we need to close out. We're going to use $311,713 this current year, and we'll have to transfer the remainder in following years. And then next is road use tax fund. Oh, I forgot, I didn't put my new one on. We're going to transfer 75,000. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Road use tax fund, we're going to transfer 130,000 to the HMA project fund, and that's to pay for the debt service. That along with the 215,750 that pays the debt service for the year for the HMA project fund. And then the sewer operations, we transfer 75,000 to the general fund for the sewer fund's annual share of administrative and salary and office expenses. And then we transfer $477,918 to the Iowa Street Wetlands project to close out that project. Now that'll be closed out. The storm sewer, and I know there was a typo at the top of that, so I need to fix that. Because there's various funds, not just the general fund. And then section 5, storm sewer discharge fund to the Frog Creek Restoration Fund. We need to close out that project. And that is storm sewer related, so we need to transfer 195,669 to close out the project. And then the general fund to the tree removal fund. We keep removing ash trees and other emergency trees. We transfer 170,000 from the general fund to remove those trees. So, and then we have the airport fuel fund. When we started that, we transferred 75,000 from the general fund to the airport fuel fund for startup costs. We're transferring that back now that we have a good balance in that fund, and that's $75,000. So the total then is we're transferring for operational costs is 3 million. Let's see. $3,095,743. And that is the total of the operational expenditures. And then the next resolution, I know it's long, and I'm sorry I had to read them all. I know it's long, but the next one is then the debt service transfers. Are there any questions?
I have a quick question, Susie.
Yeah.
The Bateman project, we haven't talked about that for a very long time. There was some performance penalties for, I want to say, the fiber optics company. Did we ever get that money, and where does that money go?
Yes, we received, I think it was close to $70,000 in liquidated damages. I believe that went to the project.
Yeah, I'd have to log in to look, but it would have went to the
We can put
project.
that back
Yeah.
into the project.
We already did, yeah.
Further questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Muller,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay, item E is resolution authorizing fiscal year 2026 transfers of funds for debt payments. So can I have a motion, please?
Fiscal year 2026 transfer of funds.
I'll second.
Okay, so for the Iowa Energy Bank project, that's the final, we had the final payment this fiscal year. And that debt service payment was $465,000 in interest and $50,344 in the principal. And that was paid from a local option sales tax fund. And next we had the Minburn Telephone Company, GEO corporate purpose note for the Sallyport. And that was all, this is also the last year for this, $33,332 for the principal. There was no interest on that. And we have the airport improvement bond. We transferred 50,000 towards the principal and payment from the local option sales tax, and the remainder is paid from the debt levy. So we only transferred 50,000 from local option sales tax. Then we have the GEO bond from 2020, 2021. And that covered several different items paid from local option and TIF. Transfer 17,800 for the interest payment and 170,000 for the principal. For the Mercury Center renovation phase 1. 10,800 for interest and 105,000 for the principal from the TIF fund to the debt service fund for the 2020 downtown improvements. We're still paying for the bond on that. And 2,600 for the interest and 25,000 for the principal from the TIF fund to the debt service fund for the 28th Street Improvement Project. And then for the 2024 HMA resurfacing project, that's what we're transferring. We talked about in the operating. We transfer 60,750 from the interest and 285,000 for the principal from the HMA fund for the debt service. So we transfer the money from local option and road use tax into the HMA project fund, and then from the HMA project fund into debt service to pay for that debt. Then we have the big one. We have the 28,900,000 sewer revenue bond. So for this year's debt payment is 367,715 for the interest and 784,000 for the principal payment and 67,594 for the bond fees. We transfer that from the sewer operations fund into the sewer sinking fund. We transfer that because according to state law, we transfer that out into a sinking fund to pay for the debt. So I make that transfer every month. So divided that by 12, and I make the transfer every month, and then it zeroes out at the end of the year. We don't leave any money in the sewer sinking fund. And then it's the sponsored project fund. We transfer 57,678 from the sewer fund to the sinking fund for the Iowa Street wetlands. So the total transfers by fund: from the TIF fund, 143,400; from local option sales tax, 321,943; from HMA to debt service, 345,750; and then from sewer operations to sewer sinking, $1,276,988. So the total debt service. Oh, damn it! I made another error, Liz. I'll have to fix that. For fiscal year 26, $2,088,081.63. You fix that for me? Yes. Questions?
We just had the one fund where the interest was considerably larger than the debt payment, the first one. The rest of them, we pay a little bit of interest and a large amount on the principal. Why was that one different?
That's a new one.
The one that's 367,000?
Yeah.
No, further up. Okay. Going to number one. Yeah, so we paid $465. I was just looking at thousands, so sorry. I read wrong. Need my glasses. So never mind. Any other discussion?
Just a big thank you to Susie for managing this and putting it all together. I'm having trouble balancing my checkbook. So thank you.
Seems super easy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's have a roll call then.
Yes.
Klein? Yes. Smaller?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Andor?
Yes.
Okay, move on to ordinances. We have two of those. We have a second possible third reading for an ordinance amending chapter 106, collection of solid waste. We had the first reading last meeting. So could we have motion, please?
Motion approved, move forward. Item A, second and possible third reading for ordinance amending chapter 106, collection of solid waste.
Any discussion on this item?
Move the three.
The second reading, yes, please. Thank you. Okay, no discussion. Roll call, please.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
And I'd entertain a motion to suspend the rules and hold
Make
the
a
third
motion
reading.
to Suspend the rule, and third reading.
Okay, any discussion on that? Roll call?
Walling,
Yes,
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we do the third reading for the ordinance amending chapter 106, collection of solid waste.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, last item, item B is the first reading for an ordinance amending chapter 99 sewer service charges. That sets sewer rates for the fiscal years 2027 through 2030. It's basically a 4% increase per year. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion approved. Item B, first reading of an ordinance amending chapter 99, sewer service charges.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on this one?
We had Public Financial Management, PFM, do a sewer rate study for us, which we do every year. The last 4 years, so 23, 24, 25, and current year 26, we did a 12% increase in 23, and then 6% in 24, 25, and 26. So this is a lower increase per year for these rates.
Thank you for that. Discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Program.
Shelley,
Yes.
Walling. No, Mahler, sorry.
Yes.
Mahler, Walling,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay. Be no further action, we'll adjourn. Thank you all.
Everybody.